Hello and welcome back to Fallout 76. A few months back, I did a video on 5 fun weapons that I think you should try. And the time has come for 5 more fun weapons that I think you should try. Now, weapon number 1 is the black powder pistol. The one I'm using is Pirate Punch, which you get from Eviction Notice. It has 50% faster reload, it's 2-shot, and it has 50% VATS hit chance, which I really like on a weapon such as this, because you have 1 shot at a time. It only holds 1 round, and you want to make those shots count as much as possible. Now, this is not a weapon that I would use as my main gun, simply for the fact this right here. I have faster reload and I have Speed Demon, and it still loads pretty slowly. But with that VATS hit chance, even on super mutants, which have pretty small, their heads tend to be pretty small. As you can see, it does really good damage. The downside is you cannot sneak with it. Probably shouldn't have Gun Fu on, but I do. Criticals do crazy amounts of damage. Downside is without VATS, you're going to do a little bit less, but still it hits pretty hard. That's a body shot. Oops. He moved out of the way. He must be super athletic. But basically, this is a... for the most part, it's going to be a one-shot, 1 hit, 1 kill kind of thing. But yeah, I wouldn't use this as my main weapon. This would be something that when you're feeling bored or you just want to goof around a bit, it's such a fun weapon for that. Another downside to this weapon is as soon as you start shooting, you will be detected. So it's one of those things that, yeah, but you can see they don't get to shoot at you for very long. Weapon number 2 is the Bear Arm. For me, this is probably one of the coolest looking weapons in the game. Now, this one has the puncturing mod, so that which is all the rebar. That's extra armor penetration. But yeah, overall, I think this is a really cool weapon. Now, this does have it's not quite up to snuff with the top tier unarmed weapons. Like the Deathclaw Gauntlet and the, Mole Miner's Gauntlet. Power Fist. It's not quite up to what those are, but it's pretty close. And even if it's not, up as high as the top tier, it's close enough, and it's still, as you can see, I'm not doing power attacks. I'm full health, so I'm not doing the crazy damage that a low health would. I'm definitely not buffed. And this version of the Bear Arm is a Gourmand's, which is, not even a top tier effect, but it has the faster swing speed and +1 strength. One thing I do like about the Gourmands, this character has Overeater's armor, so they actually synergize really well together. When you're buffing one, you're buffing the other. These are all just regular attacks. Maybe do a power attack. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is a really cool weapon. I mean, it's just, yeah, it just looks so cool. It's not quite as strong as the other ones, but in practice, you probably wouldn't even notice the difference between this and a Deathclaw Gauntlet. I mean, they're not the same, but they're pretty close in terms of damage. And this does everything. I'm not doing power attacks. I'm just doing regular swings. I'm full health. So if you were a low health build, you could probably be doing 1-shots with a lot of these hits. Now, the downside about the Bear Arm, it is a plan. It drops from Project Paradise, which is kind of, you have to get all the animals alive. So it's a little bit to get the plan. And the mods have a really low drop rate. I got lucky on this. The mod was actually something I found in a player vendor for the puncturing mod. They have a really low drop rate. But other than that, if you can get your hands on one of these guys, I definitely recommend it. This is a lot of fun, and it just looks really cool. All right, so weapon number 3 is a double barrel shotgun. But more specifically, I would say if you're going to use one of these, you want to get your hands on a quad double barrel. So the variant that I'm using is a quad explosive, faster reload. I got pretty lucky. Somebody gifted this to me. Now, the nice thing about a double barrel is it has a fairly decent range for a shotgun, and it can fire about as fast as you can pull the trigger, which is why you want to use a quad. And these weapons are a lot of fun. This is definitely not a stealth weapon. And fog crawlers are pretty tanky. But with the high fire rate of a double barrel, especially if you have a quad, it's really nice to be able to shoot 8 shots instead of just 2 before a reload. There we go. Now he's taking some damage. As am I, of course. Okay, where do... Uh-oh. Okay, well, that could have gone a little smoother. Okay, there's too many miniguns around. As you can see, I mean, it's just this gun is just a lot of fun. Didn't even have a chance to regenerate his health. Yeah, and this is a critical build, but I fire so fast I sometimes forget about the criticals. Yeah, I haven't had this gun for a very long time, but at the moment it's my it's my current favorite one to use. I like to play stealth, but with this gun, it's just it's just destruction. That's what this is. This gun is just nothing but destruction. But definitely having a quad makes it work. I mean, the explosive I don't think really adds much on shotguns, but it sure adds a cool sound, cool visual. But I would say any quad, if you can get your hands on a quad, go for it. I mean, double barrels are really strong, but the fact that you don't have to reload as much, you can actually kill stuff before you have to reload, is really nice. Weapon number 4 is Knuckles. Now, this is something I just recently started using. I was going through my stash looking for script, and I ran across these, and I was kind of curious. I'd never used Knuckles before. They're definitely not a top-tier weapon. In terms of unarmed, they're significantly less powerful than, say, a Power Fist or a even the Bear Arm. And this is not a top tier effect either. Juggernauts, that's an extra 25% if you have full health. Of course, once your health starts dropping, you lose that. And this one has faster swing speed. Another downside is it's only medium speed, which makes no sense at all. I mean, if a combat knife is fast or a switchblade is fast, why wouldn't this be fast? It doesn't make any sense. But it's still strong enough to get the job done. And one thing I like about this, when you're playing in third person, you can't really see the weapon, so it looks like you're just running around with your bare fist, which I think is pretty cool. But as you can see, we still can punch stuff to death and still gets the job done. Not the top tier effect, but it maybe takes a couple more swings. Again, full health. I'm not really buffed. I don't even know if I have any food buffs going. I'm not doing power attacks. I'm just doing regular ones. Just because it looks cool. I just think it's funny. It looks like this guy's just a street fighter just punching stuff. Another thing that's cool about Knuckles is that they don't really block your view at all, which a lot of the really good unarmed weapons do. So if you look, now here's the Bear Arm from before. I mean, that takes up a pretty good size, pretty good amount of your screen, and you switch to Knuckles. I mean, if you're playing in third person, it doesn't matter, but if you're playing in first person, it does make a difference. Being able to see stuff is beneficial. So even though these are just less powerful than other, I'm starting to really love playing with the Knuckles. This particular weapon was going to be script. I mean, it really was, and I thought I'd just give it a try just for fun, just to see if it was any good. Or actually, my first thought was, well, let's see how terrible this is, and it turns out not so much. It's actually pretty good. And if somebody was a fully buffed melee character, yeah, this would do pretty devastating damage. But yeah, Knuckles are really good. I would give them a try. And the other advantage of Knuckles is you can start using them at a low level. I think you can start using them at level 1. So that's pretty good. So it's a weapon you can, if you want to have a melee character, it's a weapon you can actually use right out of the gate. I recently started a low level character and I was using Knuckles right out of the gate. And they are surprisingly effective. And weapon number 5 is the 10mm pistol. This particular pistol is an anti-armor. VATS critical hits do 50% more damage and 25% less VATS action point cost. Now, I will say that I think pistols are best as the 10mm pistol is best as a critical build. And I also have this modified with a tweaked receiver, tweaked automatic receiver. So I get extra critical shot damage. This is a very good stealth weapon, I've found. And it's also very good for critical hits. You can see I'm still hidden, or in caution rather. But I have no trouble against pretty much anything. I have actually, with this very gun, I actually did a solo on Earl, and there is a video on my channel if anyone hasn't seen it and they're curious how well this can do. And this is as a full health character, but I am a fully spec crit build. The downside of 10 mil pistol, unless you have a quad, which I would love to have this version in a quad, but I don't. The downside is the low ammo capacity. It only holds 15 rounds with a stinging magazine. But ammo is relatively cheap. Yeah, with a critical build, this is a very effective weapon. But I will say you pretty much do need a critical build to be able to do really good damage. You use a lot more ammo if you're just using regular shots, or if you're doing it outside of VATS even. Yeah, if you're not doing criticals with this, you're probably going to think it's a pretty weak weapon because, you know, it is. It's not super strong, but with critical hits, especially if you have one that does bonus critical damage, as you can see, not really struggling with any of these super mutants. And there you have it, 5 more fun weapons that I think you should try in Fallout 76. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Thank you very much.